She slipped into my room, naked, grinned at me, and said, "Now you're mine, vertical bar commander Elias Rourke." Liked the quiet hours of the night shift. Most of the frontier stations slept during this time. The long metal halls were dim, lit only by soft blue lights along the floor. The hum of the power core was steady and calm, like a giant breathing somewhere deep inside the station. Elias sat alone in his small command room, reading a report on his screen. The words blurred together after hours of work, but he forced himself to focus. Humanity's place in the galaxy was still new. Every message, every signal, every strange reading could mean danger or discovery. He rubbed his eyes and leaned back in his chair. "Just one more file," he muttered to himself. The screen flickered. Elias frowned. Power cuts were rare on Station Horizon. The engineers kept everything running like clockwork. He reached for his console to check the system status. That was when the lights went out. Not all at once. One by one, the blue strips along the floor faded into darkness. The hum of the station dropped into silence. Elias stood up slowly. "Control, this is Rourke," he said into his wrist communicator. "I'm losing power in my sector. Do you copy?" No answer. The air felt different. Heavy. Still. Then the door to his room shimmered. It didn't slide open like it was supposed to. The metal surface rippled like water under a soft wind. A shape formed in the middle of it. Tall. Thin. Not human. Elias stepped back, his hand moving toward the emergency beacon on the wall. The figure stepped through the door as if it wasn't there at all. She looked almost human, but not quite. Her skin had a faint silver glow, like moonlight on snow. Her eyes were dark and deep, reflecting the small red light of the emergency panel. Her long hair floated gently around her head, even though there was no wind. She smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. "Now you're mine," she said. Her voice was smooth, calm, and full of confidence. Elias didn't run. He didn't shout. He didn't reach for a weapon. He straightened his back and met her eyes. "Last I checked," he said, "this is a human station." The alien tilted her head, studying him like a puzzle. "Your kind is brave," she said, "or foolish. I have not decided which." "Most days it's both," Elias replied. The silver light in her skin pulsed softly. "I am a claimant," she said. "My people travel the stars and mark worlds that will one day belong to us. Your world is next." Elias felt a chill run through him, but he kept his face steady. "Funny way to introduce yourself," he said. "Breaking into my room and shutting down my station." She waved a hand. The red emergency light froze in place, its glow hanging in the air like a painted dot. Even the small dust particles stopped moving. "Your machines are slow," she said. "Your time is fragile." "Mine is not." Elias swallowed. "Then why talk to me at all?" he asked. The claimant stepped closer. Her boots didn't make a sound on the metal floor. "Because your kind leads differently," she said. "You do not bow easily. You do not break quickly. That makes this interesting." Elias's fingers brushed the hidden button behind his desk. A silent alert. A signal that would not travel through the station's systems, but through an old hardwired line built for worst-case moments. Moments like this. He pressed it. Somewhere deep in the station, a tiny light turned green. The claimant's eyes narrowed. "You did something," she said. "Maybe," Elias replied. "Or maybe I just got more comfortable." She studied him for a long moment. You think help will come, she said. Your fleets, your soldiers, your machines. Elias shrugged. I think humans don't like being told they belong to someone else. The frozen lights suddenly dropped to the floor, rolling and flickering like normal again. The hum of the station returned, low and distant. The claimant stepped back. Your station will hear my message, she said. Your world will hear it too. She raised her hand. Every screen in the room turned on at once. Lines of strange symbols and star maps filled them. A signal burst outward, racing through space at faster-than-light speed. Elias watched it go. Great, he muttered. You just woke up everyone. The claimant smiled again, but this time there was something else in her eyes. Curiosity. Let them wake, she said. Let them come. Elias walked to the window at the far end of the room. Beyond the thick glass, stars burned like distant fires. Tiny human ships drifted in neat lines around the station, unaware of what had just begun. You ever hear a human saying? He asked. The claimant crossed her arms. Many, she said. Most are loud. Elias smiled faintly. There's one we use when things look bad, he said. When someone tells us we can't win. And what is it? She asked. He turned to face her. Watch us. An alarm finally sounded in the hallway. Voices echoed through the station. Boots pounded against metal floors. The claimant looked toward the door. Your kind moves fast, she said. We had practice, Elias replied. She took a step back, her form beginning to shimmer again. This is not over, she said. Your world is still marked. Elias held her gaze. Then you better get used to seeing us, he said, because we don't stay down. With a flash of silver light, she vanished. The door returned to solid metal. The lights steadied. The station was alive again. A moment later, the door slid open the normal way. Security officers rushed in, weapons raised. Commander! One of them shouted. Are you hurt? Elias shook his head. No, he said, but the galaxy just got a little smaller. He walked back to his desk and pulled up the star map the claimant had left behind. A strange symbol glowed over Earth's location. Claimed. Elias stared at it, his jaw tight. Not for long, he said softly. Outside the station, a human fleet dropped out of hyperspace, their ships lighting the darkness like a second sunrise. And somewhere far beyond the stars, a message spread from world to world. Humanity had been noticed, and humanity was ready. The station did not sleep after the intruder left. Lights stayed bright in every hall. Voices filled the air. Officers, engineers, and pilots moved fast, carrying tools, data, pads, and weapons that suddenly felt very small compared to what they might face. Commander Elias Rourke stood in the main command center, watching the giant screen at the front of the room. The symbol the alien had left behind still glowed over Earth's position on the star map. Claimed. He crossed his arms. Let's see how well that holds, he said. Around him, the crew worked in tight, focused silence. No one panicked. No one froze. Humanity had learned long ago that fear only helped the problem grow. Fleet 1 has arrived, a sensor officer called out. 5 ships in orbit around the station. More incoming from the inner systems. Good, Elias said. Put them on the main channel. The screen shifted. The face of Captain Mira Hale appeared, her dark hair tied back, her uniform still dusty from a rushed launch. Rourke, she said, you look like you just met a ghost. Close, Elias replied. We had a visitor. He sent the data file to her ship. Star maps, strange symbols, recordings of the claimant's voice. Mira's eyes narrowed as she read. She shut down your station by herself? She asked. For a few minutes, Elias said. Long enough to send a message to the galaxy. Mira leaned back in her chair. Then it's already too late to hide, she said. So, what's the plan? Elias took a breath. We don't wait, he said. We don't run. We show up. The station trembled slightly as another fleet arrived. Outside, human ships filled the dark space like bright sparks in a sea of night. In one of the lower levels, engineer Tomas Reed crawled through a narrow service tunnel. His hands were black with grease. His face was tight with focus. The alien had touched the station's systems. Even though everything looked normal now, Tomas didn't trust it. Old wires don't lie, he muttered. He connected a small handheld scanner to a thick cable running along the wall. The screen blinked. There. A signal buried deep in the station's network. Not human. Not friendly. Tomas tapped his wrist communicator. Control, this is Reed, he said. She left a ghost in the machine. Can you kill it? Elias asked. Not cleanly, Tomas replied, but I can confuse it. Do it, Elias said. Tomas smiled. Always wanted to try this. He pulled out a small metal box, dented and old. It was a relic from Earth's early space days. No advanced tech. No glowing lights. Just simple switches and wires. He flipped it on. Across the station, screens flickered. The strange signal twisted and bent, like it was being pulled apart. Far away, in a dark space between stars, the claimant paused. Her ship was not a ship in the human sense. It was a living structure, shaped like a silver shell wrapped around a glowing core. The walls pulsed softly as it moved. She stood in a quiet chamber, watching the human station through a field of floating symbols. Something felt wrong. Her signal was still there, but it was messy. Interesting, she said. Back on the station. Alarms sounded again. Unknown contact, a sensor officer shouted. Single object, dropping out of faster-than-light travel. The main screen changed. A silver shape appeared, smooth and sharp at the same time, like a blade made of light. The claimant was back. Open a channel, Elias said. The screen split, showing her face. You are loud, she said. Your kind fills the dark with noise and light. We like being seen, Elias replied. Makes it harder to disappear. Her eyes moved, watching the fleets around the station. You gather your strength, she said. You think this will save you? It already has, Elias said. She raised a hand. Human weapons systems across the fleet went dark. Pilots shouted. Engineers swore. Control boards flashed red. But the human ships did not stop moving. Manual control! Captain Mira's voice rang out over the channel. All pilots, switch to visual flight. Trust your eyes. One by one, human ships adjusted. They moved in wide, strange patterns. No clean lines. No perfect formations. The claimant frowned. This is chaos, she said. Elias smiled. This is choice, he replied. In the lower decks, civilians and crew worked together. Some carried power cells. Others ran messages by hand. Old radios buzzed to life, sending signals through simple waves instead of advanced systems. The station became a web of human voices. "We've got power on deck 7. Life support stable. Backup weapons online." The claimant watched, silent now. Her power fed on control, on stillness, on fear. But the humans did not stop moving. Elias stepped closer to the screen. "You don't understand us," he said. "You think strength is standing above others, and you think it is standing together," she said. "Yes," Elias replied. "Every time." The silver ship fired a beam of light toward the station. It hit the shield and spread like water on glass. The shield held. Human ships moved in, not to attack, but to block, to cover, to protect. The claimant's eyes widened slightly. "They protect each other," she whispered. "Yes," Elias said. "We do." Tomas's voice came over the channel. "Commander, her signal is breaking apart," he said. "She's losing her grip." The claimant took a step back. "This has never happened," she said. Elias felt something warm in his chest. Not pride, not anger. Hope. "First time for everything," he said. The silver ship began to pull away. "This is not over," the claimant said. "Your world still shines too bright in the dark." "Good," Elias replied. "We'll keep the lights on." The screen went dark as her signal cut. The station let out a breath it didn't know it was holding. Cheers broke out in the command center. Not loud, not wild. Just steady, relieved sounds of people who knew this was only the beginning. Elias looked at the star map again. Earth still glowed, still marked. But now, around it, dozens of human ships formed a moving shield. He turned to his crew. "She tested us," he said. "Now we test the galaxy." Outside, the human fleets held their line, and far away in the quiet between stars, the claimant watched a species that refused to stand still. The galaxy had begun to whisper about humans, not in words but in signals, in strange changes in traffic between stars, in ships that slowed when they passed near human space. News of the claimant's retreat spread faster than light. Some worlds did not believe it. Others watched in silence. On Station Horizon, Commander Elias Rourke stood in the main observation hall, staring out at the wide sea of stars. Human ships moved in calm patterns now, like a living wall of light around the station. He did not feel safe. He felt ready. "Long-range scan coming in," a sensor officer said behind him. Elias turned. "Put it on the screen." The image shifted. A wide stretch of space appeared, empty at first. Then shapes began to form. Not one ship, many. They were not like the claimant's smooth silver vessel. These ships were sharp, dark, and heavy. They moved in straight lines, like soldiers marching across the stars. "Unknown fleet," the officer said. "Not human. Not claimant either." Elias folded his arms. "So the audience has arrived," he said. Across the station, crews went to their posts. Pilots climbed into their seats. Engineers locked down systems. Civilians moved into safe zones, helping each other instead of pushing or shouting. Humanity had learned something from the claimant. Fear gave power to the wrong things. The fleet stopped just outside weapon range. A single ship moved forward. "Signal incoming," the officer said. "Open it," Elias replied. The screen filled with a new face. The being on the screen was tall and broad, covered in dark armor that looked like stone. Its eyes glowed a soft yellow. Its voice, when it spoke, was deep and slow. We are the Watchers, it said. We observe the rise and fall of worlds. Elias nodded. Then you picked a good seat, he said. The Watcher's eyes narrowed slightly. The claimant has never failed, it said. Yet she withdrew from your space. She made a mistake, Elias replied. She thought we were alone. The Watcher was silent for a moment. Many species stand together, it said. They still fall. Elias leaned forward. We don't just stand together, he said. We move together. Before the Watcher could reply, a ripple of silver light appeared behind its fleet. The claimant's ship emerged from nothingness. She stepped onto the screen, her silver skin glowing brighter than before. You came back, Elias said. I could not leave this unanswered, she replied. The Watcher turned its head toward her. You failed, it said. The claimant did not deny it. I learned, she said. This species does not break the way others do. The Watcher looked back at Elias. Show us, it said. The space around the station changed. The Watcher fleet moved closer. The claimant's ship hovered above them, watching like a judge. This was not an attack. This was a test. Elias took a deep breath. All ships, he said into the fleet channel. You know what to do. Human ships spread out. Not in a wall. Not in a tight group. They moved into wide arcs, long lines, small clusters. Some ships flew close to the station. Others pushed far into open space. The pattern looked messy, broken. Wrong. The Watcher studied it. This is weak, it said. Then the Watcher fleet moved. They surged forward in a clean, sharp line. Human ships did not meet them head-on. They slipped past. They turned. They crossed paths. The battlefield became a moving web of light and shadow. Watcher ships fired beams of energy. Human ships dodged, not always cleanly. Some shields flared and faded. Some ships took hits and fell back, only to be covered by others. No ship stayed alone for long. In the engineering bay, Thomas Reed wiped sweat from his face as he watched power levels jump and fall. They're pushing hard, he muttered. A young technician beside him looked nervous. Are we losing? She asked. Tomas shook his head. No, he said. We're bending. On the command deck, Elias watched the battle play out. The claimant's eyes followed every move. They protect their weak, she said softly. Yes, Elias replied, and our strong. The Watcher fleet began to slow. Their clean lines broke as they tried to follow the humans' strange movements. Their ships were built for order, for clear commands and perfect timing. Humans were built for something else. Signal from Captain Hale, an officer said. Put her through, Elias replied. Mira's face appeared, a small cut on her cheek, her eyes sharp. They're getting confused, she said. We're inside their patterns. Keep them busy, Elias said. We're almost there. In the lower decks, civilians helped reroute power to damaged ships through the station's core. Old cargo drones carried supplies through halls filled with smoke and flickering lights. A small boy sat against a wall, holding a radio that barely worked. Come on, he whispered into it. Come on. A voice crackled back. This is Light Runner, it said. We're still flying. The boy smiled. The Watcher's voice returned to the screen. "This is inefficient," it said. "You waste energy. You risk loss." "Yes," Elias said. "We do." The claimant stepped closer to the screen. "They choose to risk for each other," she said. "That is why I cannot hold them." The Watcher was silent. A human ship, heavily damaged, drifted in open space. 3 other ships moved in front of it, taking hits meant for it. The Watcher fleet hesitated. That single moment was enough. Elias raised his hand. "Now," he said. Human ships fired a coordinated burst of energy, not aimed at the Watcher ships, but at the empty space around them. The beams crossed, forming a glowing net of light. The Watcher fleet stopped, caught in a field of human-made gravity waves. The claimant's eyes widened. "They trapped them," she whispered. The Watcher looked at the net, then at Elias. "You could destroy us," it said. Elias shook his head. "We don't need to," he said. "We just need you to remember us." The human ships held their position. The Watcher fleet slowly pulled back. "This species is different," the Watcher said. "We will speak of this." The signal cut. The claimant remained on the screen. "You have changed the path of many worlds," she said. "Maybe they'll stop trying to own them." She studied him for a long moment. "I will not claim your world," she said. "But others will come." Elias nodded. "We'll be here." The claimant gave a small, respectful nod. Then she vanished. The stars grew quiet again. Cheers echoed through the station, stronger this time. Elias leaned against the railing of the observation deck, watching human ships return to formation. Humanity had not won a war. They had made a statement. And the galaxy had listened. The stars felt closer than ever. Commander Elias Rourke stood on the main deck of Station Horizon, watching the human fleets drift in slow, steady lines. The battle was over, but the feeling of it still lived in the air. People moved with quiet purpose. Voices were softer now, full of relief instead of fear. Humanity had not been broken. That message was already spreading across the galaxy. "Long-range channel open," a sensor officer said. "Multiple signals coming in. Non-hostile." Elias turned. "Let's hear them," he said. The main screen filled with faces. Some were human. Some were not. A tall, blue-skinned being with glowing white eyes spoke first. "We are the Valari," it said. "We have watched your stand. You did not claim space. You defended each other." Another face appeared. This one looked like living stone, its voice deep and slow. "We are the core," it said. "We respect strength that does not seek to rule." One by one, more voices joined the channel. Short greetings, careful words. Quiet respect. Elias felt something heavy lift from his chest. Humanity was no longer alone in the dark. Captain Mira Hale stepped beside him, arms crossed, eyes on the screen. "Looks like you made us popular," she said. Elias smiled. "Wasn't trying to," he replied. "Just didn't want to be owned." The signals faded, leaving the star map glowing softly in the room. Earth still shined at the center, but now small lights appeared around it. New markers. New worlds. Not claimed. Connected. In the lower levels of the station, Thomas Reed leaned against a wall, drinking water from a metal bottle. His hands still shook a little from the long hours of work. A young technician sat beside him. "You think they'll come back?" she asked. Thomas thought for a moment. "Yeah," he said. "But next time, they'll knock." She smiled. Outside the station, a small ship drifted away from the human fleet. It was silver. The claimant stood alone inside her living vessel, watching the lights of human ships fade into the distance. Her skin glowed softly, not bright like before, but calm. She touched a floating symbol in the air. It showed a map of the galaxy. Human space now pulsed like a heartbeat. "Storm," she whispered. She turned away and sent a quiet signal into the dark. On station horizon, the celebration began slowly, not with loud music or flashing lights, but with simple things. People shared food, pilots told stories, engineers laughed about broken tools and lucky fixes. Civilians thanked crew members they had never met before. Elias walked through the halls, nodding to people as he passed. Some smiled, some saluted. Some just looked tired and happy. He stopped at a large window where the stars filled the glass. Captain Mira joined him. "You did good," she said. "We did good," Elias replied. She nodded. "Command wants you on a priority call," she said. "Earth." Elias took a breath and followed her back to the command center. The screen lit up. A group of leaders from Earth appeared. Different nations, different faces. One voice spoke for them all. "Commander Rourke," the voice said. "The galaxy is talking about us." Elias gave a small smile. "Good things, I hope." The leader nodded. "They saw you stand," they said. "They saw you protect. We want to build on that." "Build what?" Elias asked. "A network," the leader said. "Stations. Routes. Safe zones. Not empires, not borders, not empires. Bridges." Elias looked at the star map behind the screen. "I like that," he said. Later, as the station settled into a calmer rhythm, Elias returned to the quiet of his command room, the same room where it had all started. He sat at his desk and pulled up the old recording of the claimant's first words. "Now, you're mine." He watched it once. Then he closed the file. Outside, a small group of alien ships approached the station slowly. They did not carry weapons. They carried signals. Greetings, offers of trade and talk. Human ships moved to meet them, not to block, to guide. In the observation hall, civilians and crew gathered to watch. Children pressed their hands against the glass. Older crew members stood with arms crossed and soft smiles. A young girl pointed at the screen. "They're really coming," she said. Her father nodded. "Yeah," he said, "and they're not here to take." The doors to the station's main docking bay opened. The first non-human visitors stepped inside human space. They looked around, careful and curious. A human officer stepped forward and raised a hand in greeting. "Welcome," she said. "You're safe here." The visitors paused. Then one of them returned the gesture. Far away, deep in the quiet between stars, the claimant watched through distant eyes. The storm she had seen was not made of fire. It was made of light, of voices, of hands reaching instead of chains closing. On station horizon, Elias stood above the docking bay, watching the first real meeting between humans and the wider galaxy. Mira stood beside him. "Think this is the start of something big?" she asked. Elias nodded. Yeah, he said. Not a war. Not a victory. Then what? She asked. He looked at the stars. A story, he said. One we get to write together. The station lights dimmed slightly as the artificial night cycle began. Outside, human ships and alien vessels drifted side by side, their lights mixing in the dark like a shared sky. A message began to spread across the galaxy. Not from a ruler, not from a conqueror, from a species that had stood up and stayed standing. It said, "Humanity does not belong to the stars. The stars belong to everyone." And for the first time in a very long while, the galaxy believed it.